What's up, everyone? Big Dan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at some negative reviews of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now, as you may know, Mass Effect Legendary Edition sold incredibly well, had over 4 million copies sold, and most people I talk to seem pretty satisfied with it. But there are some people out there who are disgruntled, and hey, where's the fun in looking at 4 and 5-star reviews of this game? Let's take a look at the worst of the worst. Before we begin, you should know I have over 150 Mass Effect Trilogy videos on my channel, including hidden scenes, rare choices, lore videos, and guides. So if you want to see more Mass Effect, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Without further ado, let's dive right in. This video is inspired by WolfheartFPS, who did a video reviewing the 1-star reviews of Baldur's Gate 3's early access period. If you haven't checked out his channel before, I'll link it down in the description. He does a lot of RPG videos as well, mostly on strategy games like Pathfinder, Solasta, and of course Baldur's Gate 3. So if you haven't checked out WolfheartFPS, be sure to check out his channel. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's dive in and take a look at some 1-star reviews of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We're going to start off with the Google reviews, so let's just take a look here, and we're going to filter by 1 stars. Nothing works properly. Crew commands do not work. Sometimes guns cause no or very little damage, other times great damage. Very little difference between insanity and casual play mode. Freezes often. BioWare, did you even play this game? Very buggy. Love the graphics update. Love the original game. I didn't experience this at all in terms of the difficulties in particular. I mean, I didn't notice that at all in terms of damage output or anything. Everything seemed to play pretty normally to me, and I've never heard this complaint for the game. I want it on PS3 too, but because Mass Effect 2 from PS3 and I can't afford PS4, well, I mean, it's not like they're going to release it on a system that's 2 generations back, but I mean, I understand wanting the game, but is that really a reason to give a 1-star review? I don't know. I don't know about this one about the bugs. I'd never heard about this bug before, so it's hard to say, but I mean, if that's actually true and there's a kind of a game-breaking bug in Legendary Edition, you know, BioWare's definitely got to get on that. So let's hop over to Metacritic, where the user scores are actually a little bit more mixed on here. So I'm curious to see why this is at 5.3. It has no dubbing or subtitles in Portuguese. No fast brasileiros carabos jogo M2021 full price. It seems like there's a lot of stuff about no Portuguese subtitles in here. Jesus. It is absurd and a disregard for the Portuguese-speaking community that there's no translation in this game. This review contains spoilers, and then you just expand it out, and it's telling you there's no Portuguese subtitles. Damn, man, the Portuguese community got really shafted with this one. Wow, did Mass Effect Legendary Edition get review bombed by Brazilians in the Portuguese community? This is very interesting. Yeah, it's definitely a bummer that they wouldn't have translation into Portuguese at this time. I mean, hopefully that's something that they will add in the future, but that is absolutely not what I expected to see in some of these 0-star reviews. No option to play with Russian subtitles and English voice. Russian voice sounds disgusting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did not expect that. I wonder what a Russian elusive man would sound like. This game needs the option English voice acting plus Russian subtitles. The fact is that the voice acting in the Russian version is simply disgusting. Here's another one that says, I'm only rating this a 10 because the Russian community is being a bit weird right now and bombing this game for an inconvenience. It's a 9. Great series, mediocre ending. First game is more an RPG than a shooter, but from ME2 on it's smooth sailing. Well, he said he's giving it a 10, but he gave it a 0. So this is pretty wild looking at this because, I mean, there's more negative reviews than positive ones, but I would say like 80% of the negative reviews are either from the Russian or Portuguese community complaining about the subtitles in the game, which is pretty wild. So I really wonder if you were to like factor those out and factor those criticisms out, what the overall review score would be. Because right now it's at a 5.3, whereas the critic reviews are at like 86. So I don't know. And then on Google, it has like 90% positive reviews. Here we go. This is one of the ones I was expecting. R.I.P. Miranda's ass, 2010 to 2021. Killed by modern day Puritanism. BioWare may not love you anymore, but we always will. So it's just so funny that there was so much backlash to the two butt scenes, or two butt shots rather, removed from Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I mean, there's still other ones in the game. It was just the two most gratuitous ones that were taken out. But yeah, that caused an uproar that is still being heard on the internet today, which is really funny to me. Here's a good one. Horrible, unplayable in 2021 talking simulator. Speak with NPC hours and hours and hours. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of talking in Mass Effect, but that's definitely not the only thing you get in these games. Maybe you want to replay it. Bare minimum upgrade with tampering to the original games that were masterpieces. Mass Effect 1 was a RPG, now is a generic shooter. I played all three games right before this remaster was released, and just like the Silent Hill HD collection, changes have been made to affect mood, context, and even some conversations have been messed with. Okay, so all of the quests in Mass Effect 1 are identical. So I don't understand how you would say it's gone from an RPG to a generic shooter. I mean, all they did was basically upgrade some of the running mechanics in the first game, and then also upgrade some of the controls so that it's more consistent with the second games. But it really plays just like Mass Effect 1 from a combat standpoint. So I really don't get where this type of review is coming from, but he gave it a 3. One of the things I find so interesting about looking at reviews for this game too is there's a lot of people who are criticizing it for basically doing not a whole lot in terms of the upgrade. And I really think BioWare was in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because had they created a bunch of new quests and a bunch of new content and done a whole lot more in terms of different tweaks to the game, then you would have lost some of the magic from the original, and they definitely would have been criticized from that, even if they would have made some new quests that were good. But then if you do just this like minimal upgrade where you're like, okay, we're going to leave the core of the game intact, but we're going to make it look better, we're going to make some of the sprinting and stuff a little bit better, then people are like, well, you didn't do enough to the game. So this is where remasters are kind of in this tricky space, because expectations across the fan base are completely divided depending on people who are expecting something that's more of a ground up remake versus a remaster that just kind of like modernizes the game for modern systems. Let's take a look at the Steam reviews before we wrap this thing up. Now, Steam is a little bit trickier in terms of like getting out your 1-star reviews because they don't really have a star rating system. They either do basically recommend or not recommend. We're going to look at ones that are not recommended. There's 1,300 negative reviews versus 15,000 positive ones. So let's check out some of these negative reviews here. I love this one here. This person has 227 hours played in Legendary Edition, by the way, when they're writing this review. This might be the single buggiest game I own. It took me 4 hours of troubleshooting just to play the game originally because the stock Windows 10 firewall on my computer was identifying the super invasive reporting to EA as malware. This has never been patched out. I can't finish the Overlord DLC in ME2 due to an area crashing the game when loading in. This has never been patched. I can't even play through Mass Effect 2 anymore due to the character creator crashing the game. Honestly, this edition is a worse experience than playing the base games on the Xbox 360, simply because they can at least be played. So it's unplayable, but this guy has 227 hours played in the game. Okay. These games are some of my favorites and I love to play them, but if I'm forced to download and use bloatware, Origin, to play them, I have to rate this a 0 out of 10. EA shit the bed on this one. Oh my god. And they've also played it for 88 hours. So yeah, you gotta wonder with all these people who are like absolutely hating Legendary Edition, how they're like clocking up hundreds of hours in the game. But certainly for the people who are experiencing bugs, like I definitely think that those are valid criticisms of the game. And like, you know, obviously laughing at some of these reviews, I'm not trying to downplay that other people may have had issues playing these games, but you know, I've got almost 200 hours in Legendary Edition on Steam so far, and I haven't encountered any of these bugs on my end on PC. So, who knows? So there we go. This has been a little bit of a wild ride looking at these 1-star reviews. I mean, I've learned a little bit about, people's criticisms of the game. I mean, some of them were pretty funny and over the top, but there are some legitimate criticisms of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Overall, I really enjoyed Legendary Edition. I mean, I've played almost 200 hours at this point. So there you have it, a reaction to 1-star reviews of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Mass Effect and RPG videos. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.